Welcome back everyone. Today we're going to have a look at a selection of new mods for Skyrim that all came out in the last month. So hopefully there are one or two mods that are new to you, and if you guys like this kind of video, I might do something similar each month or so. But let's get into it. First up, we have a mod called Legendary Alpha Shields 2, which adds 15 new shields, all with inspiration taken from Greek mythology, or at least I'm pretty sure they are. These shields all look sublime, some being your classic rounded shields with high detailed artworks on them, or there are also a few 3D unique shields that also look incredible. The dragon one in particular is one of my favorites, and you will see me rocking it in a few of my other videos. The shields can all be crafted with the ebony smithing perk in-game and have similar stats. This is in fact the second shield pack made by the same author, so if you haven't already, I highly suggest you to check out the first pack as well, as those shields are just as good as these. Next is another new mod called Dovahnique's Diverse Dark Elf Lanterns. This mod replaces the Dark Elf lanterns commonly seen in Soulsteam with a high poly lantern artwork design. There are 8 different designs that will display randomly thanks to base object swapper. These models and textures look absolutely fantastic and have quickly become one of my favorite lantern designs for the whole of Skyrim. They are also compatible with AMD light, so if you are using an AMD, you will see a nice glow effect during the night. Also, just as a quick note, this mod only replaces the Dark Elf lanterns, so if you're expecting to see them all around Skyrim, you will be disappointed. The most common place you can see them is on the island of Soulsteam, but there are also a few mods that add these Dark Elf lanterns to other areas in Skyrim that I will also link in the description for you to enjoy. And because it's utilizing the base object swapper plugin, make sure all of the requirements are up to date. This is truly a beautiful mod that will become a permanent fixture in my load order. Now we're going to look at the first new armor mod called the Kvetchi Mercenary set, which adds an Imperial themed heavy armor set including a weapon and shield. The armor can be found on a certain bandit near Helgen or crafted under the steel smithing. The armor of course looks fantastic, but it also fits well within the lore of the Elder Scrolls series and doesn't look too out of place. It also kinda looks to me like a combination between Japanese and gladiator armor. The helmet especially reminds me a lot of the Gladiator movie for some reason. Anyway, this is just a really cool looking armor for warriors or sword and board type characters. Next up is a new weather related mod called Mists of Tamriel. This mod adds volumetric mist, distant animated mist, and morning fogs to Skyrim. Now you might say we already have multiple mods that do this, but what's good about this one is it combines them all into one neatly packaged mod, and it also comes with a mod menu in-game where you can adjust the thickness of mist, enable or disable animated mist, and even control the time of day for morning fogs to start and finish. The effects all look great and help the world of Skyrim feel more natural and atmospheric. These mods are also especially great for people who don't have very good loading distances or suffer from texture popping, as the mist helps masking these problems. Also, be sure to download the correct patch for your weather mod or EMB when using this mod. Otherwise you might come across instances where the mist is too dark or too bright. The next mod is made by WiZkiD called Specific Signs, and is another mod that utilizes the base object swapper plugin. The mod swaps the signs for each alchemy and general goods store with its own unique sign that was specifically designed by the mod author. This helps each city and shop feel more unique instead of seeing the same signs for all the shops around Skyrim, which can be kind of boring. This mod also pairs very nicely with the same author's more general sign replacer but it is not required. So do yourself a favor and download this beauty of a mod for your next playthrough. Up next is a new follower mod called Light and Shade SE. Don't be put off by the SE though, because it also works with AE versions of the game. Now, I'm not a massive user of follower mods or followers in general when I'm playing Skyrim, but this mod piqued my interest. It adds a new, unique follower named Eris, who is actually blind, which is a pretty cool story element for a mercenary. Although I'm not exactly sure how she can fight, she must have really good hearing or something. But what really impressed me about this mod is that she is also very high quality, with fully voiced dialogue featuring over 1,000 lines.
The act itself was petty, but perhaps born of desperation. I find it curious that they would risk directly recruiting strangers.
She will make unique commentary on all factions, certain quests, and locations. Another thing that I really liked about this follower were a couple of extra features that were added. You can tell her how to behave during combat, ranging from close quarter combat to archery, or for her to prefer using magic. Also, once a day, you can spend time with her and help her train in a certain skill, with everything included such as two-handed weapons, destruction magic, or blocking. This kind of progressive learning and being able to mold your follower to your playstyle alongside your own was really cool and rewarding. So I recommend you to give Eris a go, you won't be disappointed. Now onto the second armor mod of this video, this time made by Fourth Unknown, with a mod named Dremora Markynaz armor. This adds a Daedric themed heavy armor set for you to enjoy. You will have to follow the path of certain Daedric worshippers to obtain this unique armor, and there are multiple ways to get this armor. The helmet is particularly unique, with a beautiful evil smile. In fact, my first thought was the mouth of Sauron from Lord of the Rings when I first saw it. Kinda has that creepy vibe to it. All in all, it's another great mod armor that you should all check out. The next mod is a retexture of the amazing Northern Roads. A few weeks ago, I covered the Northern Roads mod that overhauls all of the roads around Skyrim, including all of the bridges, and adds a few extra assets to the roadsides for you to enjoy. This mod offers a retexture of the landscape part of Northern Roads in a few different resolutions. Here you can see what the original Northern Roads look like, compared to what it looks like with this retexture. Ultimately, it comes down to preference over what textures you prefer, but it's always good to have options. As a side note, Northern Roads changes a lot in the world space around Skyrim, and due to that, it requires a lot of patches depending on how large your load order is, so remember to take this into account when installing. In my opinion, it is worth it to go through the trouble of patching, as the mod looks fantastic and makes walking around Skyrim a joy. Lastly, we have a series of mods that I have also showed you before, but they have now been neatly placed into an all-in-one version called Daedric Shrines All-in-One. So now you don't need to bloat your load order with a large number of singular mods, they are all included together in one mod. As you may already know, this mod replaces or adds new shrines to all the Daedric lords around Skyrim for you to discover. All 16 of these new Daedric shrines have an incredible amount of detail, and you can tell that the author has put a lot of effort into making the models. It's really beautiful work, so do yourself a solid and install this mod. I cannot recommend it enough. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and discovered 1 or 2 extra mods to add to your mod list. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.